I sleep better when I consume carbohydrates prior to bed. Is this normal or is there something wrong? I don't necessarily have data to tell you that this is normal across the population, but personally I would expect it to be. The reason is because the consumption of carbohydrates later into the day appear to have a multitude of beneficial effects that may improve sleep quality. Initially, carbohydrate consumption increases the production of insulin. This increase in insulin increases the influx of tryptophan and tyrosine into the brain. Very notably, tryptophan is eventually converted into serotonin and then melatonin. And as you may know if you have ever taken a melatonin supplement, melatonin is one of the most powerful hormones in the human body when it comes to promoting drowsiness and lowering body temperature to induce sleep. Additionally, it appears that elevated insulin levels stimulate the synthesis and release of leptin. The concomitant increase in leptin and insulin later in the day induce sleep and increase the duration of specific stages of sleep. Additionally, it appears that the consumption of dietary carbohydrates may decrease the production of cortisol, a molecule that promotes wakefulness and may disrupt specific stages of sleep. Another mechanism is the fact that carbohydrates, in comparison to the other two macronutrients, most rapidly suppress the production of a hormone called ghrelin in the gastrointestinal tract. Given that this hormone promotes wakefulness, its rapid suppression in the evening may help to induce sleep. And finally, it appears that there are neurons in the brain that directly sense our level of blood glucose. Some of these include the orexin and hypocretin neurons, in which glucose suppresses the activity of these neurons. Similarly to many of the other molecules that carbohydrates suppress, these neurons promote wakefulness and arousal. So in totality, it appears that carbohydrate consumption may increase the production of sleep-promoting molecules and decrease the production of wakefulness-promoting molecules. Importantly, these results may differ depending on an individual's baseline glucose control. For example, pre-diabetics and diabetics may see differential responses to the consumption of carbohydrates later in the day on their sleep quality, because they may not be able to derive all the benefits of the mechanisms I just discussed due to their current physiological state. And lastly, I will mention is that we do have some data to indicate that the consumption of food less than 3 hours prior to bed may have a negative effect on overall sleep duration and quality. Therefore, I am not promoting the consumption of carbohydrates immediately prior to bed, as most of these effects take hours to manifest in the first place. Therefore, if you are going to have a carbohydrate bolus prior to bed, you would want to keep the volume of the meal smaller, and it would likely be beneficial to do it about 3 hours prior to bedtime.